Hello and welcome to another exclusive review with me, Alex Belfield, here at CelebrityRadio.biz, where last year we had over 12 million minutes viewed on YouTube. We're now the number one reviewer of theatre in the UK and Las Vegas, and this week we're on the road with We Will Rock You once again, a Queen and Ben Elton musical. We saw this when the show first opened, and frankly we were disappointed, but we thought we'd go back to see how this sellout show is faring in Nottingham. Well, tonight, the 2,800 Royal Concert Hall was completely ram-jam packed. It is in fact sold out the entire week. It's incredible. More than 22,000 tickets all gone, full house, to see this musical, which I have been in love with for many years. I was there opening night in London and thought it was brilliant, even though the script is a bit shticky. Well, here's the problem. They've taken it on the road. They've ripped out the heart of the show. There's no spectacle. And all you're left with is just a very low-rent musical with 4 amazing singers who steal it. So therefore, this show is a review in 2 halves. The first half, the show is appalling. It's one of the worst I've ever seen. It's one of the messiest school-level productions in places, with sloppy choreography and some of the worst scenery changes and messy production I've ever seen in my life. And then you've got 5-star talent and a 5-star band. And excellent sound too. All right, let's start with the positives. The cast are quite brilliant. You've got Galileo, Ian McIntosh, who is just brilliant. This show doesn't have anything to work with. The script is tortuous, tedious and laborious, and they do their best they can. This is not a show where any of these people can shine as actors. There's some of the worst acting I've ever seen, but vocally, as Galileo, Ian McIntosh is really up there with some of the best I've ever seen. He is quite brilliant. Alongside Elena Skye, again a Scaramouche. She can't shine as an actress, and we know she is because we've seen her before and talked to her before, but vocally she's hugely powerful. And thank God they've put a Wembley scale PA system in this theatre, because it is huge and you get to hear every word. Congratulations to sound, who mixed it brilliantly. They're the 2 leads, Galileo and Scaramouche, and Elena, and then add into that you've got Adam Strong, who again has got some of the worst lines in the show as Khashoggi, but he's also got a brilliant voice and really nails it at the beginning of Act 2. Oz, which used to be Meat, gets the killer song. Amy Di Bartolomeo, I think that's how you say it. She plays Oz, which used to be Meat, and she gets the killer number No One But You and steals the end of Act 1. Buddy is played by Michael McKell, and he gets some of the biggest laughs, unfortunately for the wrong reasons. There is the most excruciating scene change at the end of the show where they put a motorbike on stage for absolutely no reason. It doesn't light up, it doesn't move. It's one of the most embarrassing props I've ever seen. I mean, this show really is shambolic. How Queen can put their name to it is beyond me. And to see 2 elderly stagehands trying to get this thing off stage whilst Michael is quite jovially covering in front of them for cheap laughs is just excruciating. I don't know how Queen, Brian, Roger, Ben can allow this to happen on a stage in 2019, especially considering tickets are about £40 and it's sold out for an entire week. This is the lowest rent set I've ever seen for a professional production of this standard and scale, and it is also the worst script. I've never heard a show where people just don't laugh at the gags. I mean, literally don't laugh, and when they do, it's just buttock clenching. I don't know how it came to this. It's such a shame because, as I say, I used to love this show. In terms of vocals as well, Killer Queen is played by Jenny O'Leary, does a really fantastic job. She's got a really hard job to follow, Maz Murray and, of course, Sharon D. Clarke in the West End, but she's up there. She's very, very talented. But again, I mean, her big number in Act 1, she just stands there staring at the audience, a moment when, on the previous tour, and also in the West End, she had this fabulous revolve, Play the Game. I mean, it was incredible. She just stands there looking awkward. It's ridiculous. And that happens a lot in this show, where the choreography, by the way, is some of the most buttock clenching I've ever seen. I mean, it's sloppy. Whoever is the dance captain really does need to pull their socks up. And whoever did the choreography needs to come back and see this show, because it was limp tonight. There was also people bumping into each other. I don't know whether it's because it's first night, but surely the stage is gridded, whether it's at the Nottingham Royal Concert Hall, Belfast, Beijing or Bangkok. Honestly, I've never seen such a sloppy show on this scale in front of 3,000 people in my career. Unbelievable. Truly, the ensemble don't really shine. There's a couple of numbers where there's some lovely choreography. The finale, of course, is fantastic. But you can't save a show on a finale. It's ludicrous. I mean, we all want to hear Bohemian Rhapsody, which is sung magnificently by Ian McIntosh, but surely there has to be more to a show than the finale. I don't know, this seems to me like they're cashing in on a brand. They're using the film and the brand of Queen to sell this tawdry musical. Ben Elton's script is appalling. It's the worst script in musical theatre history, and it was only saved in the West End by a truly beautiful and magical show. The HD screens are okay in places. There are some very nice moments, but generally it is the most boring set I've ever seen, and the most clumsy I've ever seen too. My God, I've never seen people schlepping steps around a stage and putting them in the wrong place and putting them back and then missing the gap and having to pull them and the guy coming on and pulling the... Oh, this goes on the whole show. No automation? Why is it in there? If you can't have automation, don't do it. It's 2019 and you're ripping off your audience. I'm sorry. It's not acceptable and it's not good enough. And it's an insult to your principal cast who are sensational. And if you think you can pull it off with just a band and 4 fabulous singers who are recreating your songs, I think that's a great shame. And it's a hugely insulting smack in the gob to Freddie Mercury. Really disappointing. I hate to say it. The worst touring production I've ever seen. Technically, some of the worst choreography I've seen this year for sure. 4 of the best vocals I've ever heard. And overall, a hugely disappointing, cheap rip-off of what was a fabulous 5-star musical. And by the way, I was the only one to say it was 5 stars when it came to London. Everybody hated it. And if you look on the poster at the bottom, the quote for Capital Gold was mine, because I was about the only person who liked it. Not anymore. I'm sorry. Not good enough. Costumes, okay. Lighting, nah. Very basic and simple, at times appalling. Overall, We Will Rock You is only saved by the songs people want to hear. You've been listening to another review by me, Alex Belfield, here at celebrityradio.biz, where last year, went over 12 million minutes viewed on YouTube. You can check out all of our hundreds of interviews and reviews at www.celebrityradio.biz. Ta-ra.